Everyone, my name is Saraya, and in this video, I'll be reflecting on the module we just completed, focusing especially on Chapter 10 from The Psychology of Criminal and Violent Behavior by Leon and West. I'll be taking what I learned, some key takeaways, and how it connects to what I already know about criminal behavior and mental health. Chapter 10 focuses on interrogation of biological, psychological, and social factors and understanding mental illness and its connections to crime. It introduces interrogative approach, which shows how no single factor causes criminal behavior. It's the combination of influences. The chapter also explains evidence-based practices, which are treatments and strategies supported by research. A section I found really eye-opening was on substance use and violence, especially with the differences in how drugs like stimulants, alcohol, and opioids affect behavior. The case studies of Robinson Osborne show how drug use and emotional issues can mix in dangerous ways. New information that I learned. I didn't realize how substance withdrawal, especially opioids, can lead to violence, not because the drugs can make someone violent, but because the withdrawal makes them desperate. I also learned how control over right and threat-related psychotic symptoms can increase the chance of violence by making someone feel like they're being watched or controlled. The concept of evidence-based practice really stuck with me. I like that it involves using research, clinical skill, and the client's vows to make decisions. The way the chapter broke down the differences between static and dynamic risk factors helped me understand how risk can be assessed and managed. How the chapters are related. The chapter ties back to earlier ones about mental disorders like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and depression. Where earlier chapters focuses more on describing symptoms, Chapter 10 connects those disorders to the real-world treatment and the prevention strategies. The chapter also relates to what we've learned about criminalization theory, how people with mental illness can end up in justice systems because of lack of care, not because they're more dangerous. Together, the chapter builds a bigger picture. Mental illness isn't a simple cause of crimes, but it can be a risk factor when combined with things like substance use, trauma, or lack of support. How things relate. Chapter 10 helped me see that addressing mental illness and substance abuse is a major part of crime prevention. It also showed that we can treat all offenders the same. Some need more mental health support while others need more accountability. It made me think about how often people in crisis are handled by police instead of mental health professionals, which can lead to worse outcomes. I now understand why integrated individual treatment is so important in reducing reoffending and promoting recovery. Final thoughts. This chapter really changed how I think about the connection between mental illness and crime. I now realize how complex it is and how important it is to use research and compassion together. One question I still have is, how often do police and mental health professionals actually work together in the real world, and what can be done to improve collaboration? Bye.